Welcome to another episode of Stand with Pride, a weekly review of the news as shared on social media. Before we begin today's show, we want to remind everyone that Crawford Gives Days is our major fundraiser of the year. Our goal is $2,000 to help us offset our costs and purchase new radio equipment to enhance our listeners' experience and to fund other programs of the Pennsylvania Equality Project. You can find more details about Crawford Gives Days on the PEP radio page at paequality.com. Members of the armed forces are trained to deal with gunfire and physical assault when on the battlefield and in combat. However, they don't necessarily expect that type of training to be engaged when on base here in the United States. Earlier this week, we reported that a sergeant shot 5 soldiers at one of the country's largest army bases before he was quickly tackled by other Fort Stewart troops, forcing a brief lockdown, officials said. Few details were immediately available about what led to the gunfire, but officials said the shooter was Sergeant Quornelius Radford, age 28, who used a personal handgun, not a military firearm. This latest act of violence on a U.S. military installation, sites that are supposed to be among the most secure in the country, again raised concerns about safety and security within the armed forces' own walls. The Army said it's investigating the shooting. There were still many unanswered questions, including the scope of the injuries and the shooter's motive. Army records released to the Associated Press show that Radford enlisted in January 2018. He worked as a supply sergeant and has not been deployed. Radford faced an August 20th hearing in Hinesville, a small town near the base, on accusations of driving under the influence and running a red light just after 1 a.m. on May 18th, according to a citation and court filing. He was given a blood test and freed on $1,818 bond, the document said. Attorney Sneha Patel is representing Radford in the traffic case, but not the shooting as of Wednesday, he said in an email. He cited attorney-client privilege in declining to comment about any of his conversations with Radford. For further details on this story, we turn now to Jim Miller at CNN.